How's it going, guys? My name is Luis, and this is my review of Nyko's new Power Pack for the Nintendo Switch. They were nice enough to send me one for review and even added in the dock bands for the Switch, so you'll get a mini review of that in this video too. The Nyko Power Pack retails for $39.99 and it's a hardcover case that has a built-in 5000 mAh battery. Attaching the case is pretty simple. It's a two-piece case that you can take apart by unlocking the little switch locks behind the case and removing the top off. From there, just slide in your Nintendo Switch and then snap the top back on. The Nyko Power Pack has a cutout for just about everything on the Nintendo Switch except the micro SD card port. You don't have to worry about any of the fans being blocked and things like the headphone jack and the game cartridge, they're still all accessible. On the back of the case is a power button that turns on the battery pack but also lets you see how much power is left inside the case, with some indicator lights. An additional kickstand is built into the case so you can still play in tabletop mode with the case on, though more on that later. The Power Pack itself also has a charging port, but it's no longer at the bottom of the Switch, but it's now on the left side of the Switch, and it's still USB-C at least. This means that you can use the built-in Nintendo Switch charger that came with your Switch, or just use the USB-C to USB cable that comes with the case. The case is somewhat bulky. Obviously with a 5000 mAh battery inside of it, it's going to have some bulk and weight to it. The case isn't big enough for it to be uncomfortable to hold in terms of the physical design of it, but it does add some weight to it, so after a few minutes of holding up my Switch with the case on it, I tended to lean on something nearby to offset that weight. On the brighter side, the battery built into the case does practically double the life of the Nintendo Switch while playing a mix of games like Sonic Mania, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, Pokken Tournament, and the new Rayman Legends demo. In total, I was able to squeeze out just about 6 hours of total gameplay before the Switch died out on me. So it definitely does double the Nintendo Switch's battery life as advertised, but it's definitely not my first choice in terms of portable charging, and here are the reasons why. While yes, there definitely is a convenience of it being attached to your Switch and not having to deal with any charging cables, I still don't think it's really worth it. The Power Pack is good for protecting your Nintendo Switch from minor drops, and that's great because the kickstand on it really sucks. Brand new from the box, the kickstand was already pretty loose on me, and when I snapped it off to make sure that you can snap it back in like the manual says, I'm pretty sure I made it even looser. Trying to stand the Switch back up into tabletop mode with this is almost like gambling. You don't know if it's even going to work or not. More often than not, it just snaps off under the weight of the Switch and the case on top of it. I've seen some other Nintendo Switch battery cases being sold with two kickstands built into the case, and I think I know why now. The charging port being on the side of the Switch is useful when you're playing in tabletop mode, but when the kickstand sucks, that kind of defeats the purpose of the tabletop mode. The placement of this port though is even worse when you're trying to play in portable mode. The charging cable comes out right from the side of the case and in between your fingers, making it really uncomfortable to play. At that point, you're probably better off just charging straight to the Switch or stop playing entirely and let the case charge off of the Switch. The whole point of the case is to presumably increase how long you can play your Nintendo Switch in portable mode, and all that extra bulk it adds to your Nintendo Switch while handicapping it with things like a crappy kickstand really hurts the design and functionality of the case. This is a case you'll constantly have to remove just to use your console in dock mode or play it in tabletop mode since the built-in kickstand on it really sucks. For that $40 price tag, I'd say you're much better off buying an actual battery bank. Sure, you'll still have to deal with the charging cable, but it's a much better value and better functionality. For an extra $20, you can get yourself a 30,000 mAh battery bank from Aukey, and keep in mind the Power Pack from Nyko only has 5,000. In total, this external battery bank would be able to power your Nintendo Switch for about 15 hours before finally dying, and that's just assuming that the battery bank only reaches 80% of its capacity. Along with powering your Nintendo Switch though, it has a USB-C port, so it does have efficient charging for the bank and the Switch itself, and there's other USB ports on it so you can charge multiple devices at once. If you're traveling on the bus, train, or plane, you can charge your Switch and your smartphone or tablet devices all at the same time. The battery case concept for the Switch is cool, but this execution of it is pretty bad, and it isn't so much worth getting just for the extra minor battery life, while also handicapping some of the other functionality of the Switch. Now, Nyko also sent me their dock bands, and they're tiny little bands that attach to the sides of your Switch to help protect your Switch from the dock. I personally never had issues with scratches on my Switch from the dock, but if you did or are scared of that happening, this will definitely help you out. They fit snug on the sides of your Switch and lock on with these tiny little thumb imprints that snap into the screw holes on the back of the Switch. It definitely makes the Switch feel more snug in the dock, but it also is a bit tougher to slide into it. All the other functionality of the Switch, like removing the Joy-Cons, is still completely doable. The bands are about $5, so if you are worried about dock scratches, you can try this out without risking too much money, but then again, I never personally had issues with the dock in the first place. I will say putting on and off the bands were quite a pain in the butt. It feels like you're stretching out the bands trying to put them on the Switch itself, and every time you take them on and off, you're practically just wearing out the bands. But if you'd like to try either one of these products, I'll have them linked in the description down below, along with the power bank that I mentioned earlier if you'd like to try that out instead. That does it for this review, but if you have any questions about any of these products I mentioned, feel free to ask me in the comment section down below and I'll do my best to get back to you right away. If you enjoy my content, then please consider subscribing. I do game reviews and product reviews on pretty much a bunch of different platforms like the PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC gaming. Thank you all very much for watching, and keep on gaming.